Hello friends! Welcome back to my channel where we make pretty costumes and things. Today's video is all about my Halloween costume, which is going to be, drumroll please, Emily from The Corpse Bride. I feel like the best way that I can break down this costume and the materials purchased and what I plan to do to make this costume is over at my computer with my Notion template, so let's head over there. For those of you that have never heard of Notion before, it's a free project management tool that is extremely customizable and allows me to organize like everything I need for my costumes, business, and even my personal life. It's available on both desktop and as a phone app, but I mostly use mine on the desktop, and I'll typically like check things off on my to-do list on my phone. So I've created a template that helps me organize like my costumes and my materials, even like my travel checklist or like my content creation calendar. So like this is an example of where we're at in my content creation calendar. And so that is kind of like what Notion is. This template is available to purchase for $5 in the description, and it comes with a tutorial on how to customize all of it. So like everything from this image up here to like you can name it after yourself if you want. It's all customizable, and a tutorial on how to customize it and implement it into your own like day-to-day cosplay creation routine is also available when you purchase this template. Now I'm just gonna show you how I've filled it out for Emily the Corpse Bride, and I'm also gonna explain to you some of the materials I use or plan to use, and also some of the techniques I plan to use for this gown. So the first thing that I have in my like template is my costume breakdown by piece, and then also like a little bit of like something I need to purchase. And then I also have like a table of contents up here. So if I were to do this for a commission or even a competition, I could track how many hours I spend on it. I probably won't do that for this, but I have been doing that for Glinda. And then I also have a materials list, which helps me know like how much money I've spent, where I got everything, which is great for you guys. So when I make the videos every couple of like week or so, I can just link the exact fabric and stuff I purchased right there. I don't have to like go through all of my list, like things I've purchased on Etsy and whatnot. And then I just have my inspiration and mood board. So now I'll talk a little bit about how we're going to break down making Emily from The Corpse Bride. So the first piece that I'll talk to you a little bit about is the bodice. So we're going to just open this all the way up. The bodice has this it's like obviously a white wedding gown bodice. I'm going to be using a Duchess satin. It's like a matte satin, so it's not super shiny, but I found a really beautiful lace on Etsy that I will be using to overlay on all of that to create this like texture. I do plan to draft all of my own patterns for this, and at the end of the process, I would absolutely love to make the patterns available to purchase at kind of like how my previous costumes are, where they're not like graded professional patterns, but they're like $5, so you could just like slash and spread them to fit yourself. They're not really trying to be like any kind of replacement of a Joanne pattern or anything like that. It's just to kind of make the stuff available and that kind of stuff. Same with this template. I really just try to make things available, not at a super high cost. So if you have to modify, you have to modify. So I definitely plan to draft this all myself. And what my kind of idea for this trim, I bought another trim that I'll be using for the trim on her bust and the waist a little bit. I plan to paint that. I don't think I'm going to dye that. I think I'm going to paint it. And then I'm also going to apply blue sequins or rhinestones or just kind of like beads and embellishments that will match the blues in this like beautiful blue scale weathering. I do plan to make this fully boned and also with denim to kind of help create a shape. I don't necessarily want it to be like Victorian corsetry type thing, but I would like it to be somewhat corset-like so that I will have a bit of a curve between my bust and my waist. That's something that like I have to kind of think about in all of the costumes I make, is what do my proportions look like? So that's what we will be doing for that. For the ribs, I do plan to use a product called foam clay. I specifically bought the SKS prop foam clay from Blick. I will be using that. So, and I also have like basically a Kanban board. So when I start a project, I can put it right here.
when it's done, I can move it over here. Same with the actual like garment pieces. So when I start the bodice, I can move it here, and all the way when it's done, I can finish it. Something else that I have in here that I'm not using for this, but is something that I've placed in all of the templates for each individual item, is a competition checklist. This is my own personal checklist. This can be modified and changed for any person that is competing, but I just wanted to share that I have that in there so that like if you do competitions and you think this is a great way to help you organize all of your documentation and stuff, that's there. The next piece that we're going to be working on is the skirt. So I'm going to be using the same satin as the skirt. It's this Duchess matte satin. I actually really want to make my skirt like really long, not like obnoxiously long. I still want to be comfortable at a convention, but I would love to make it fairly long. And I purchased a black trim that I would like to put at the very tip of it to be kind of like the furthest of the weathering. And then I figured I would weather it with paint coming closer in. And I would also use some rhinestones and some stuff like that that will have this like beauty, but also death aspect to it. Like I really like the juxtaposition between death and decay and then like beauty and sparkle and glitter. So I think that those two would look really cool together. So that's where I'm at for that. For the swirls on her skirt, the lace that I purchased actually has these really beautiful swirls in it. And I thought about cutting them apart and sewing them back together in a way to make these swirls. And I'd either like paint the fabric or dye the fabric depending on like the opacity, and then like obviously pin and sew them to the skirt, coming up the skirt like her swirls look. I think that'd be really beautiful, really cool. And then also obviously adding more sparkle and things like that to the gown. Again, I'll digitize this as well. And I think that's it for like the main pieces. So now I have it broken up by like head and arms. So she has on her head, obviously a wig. I got this really pretty ombre style wig for like $45 on Amazon. It's a lace front. I liked the colors and I kind of like the idea of the ombre because it kind of matches how the rest of the gown is, like how it's all like blacks into blues and like that. So I thought the wig would kind of look cool being like that, even though I know Emily's hair isn't exactly like that. And then for the veil, I bought this beautiful lace that I can put at the bottom of it. Again, adding purple and really changing the colors and things like that so that it looks like it's weathered, but then it's still just this beautiful, rich lace. I would love to do a makeup test. I'm going to be using Mehron water soluble makeup. It's exactly what I plan to use, or what I used for Sally. And I really like it. I know how to apply it. I don't have any problems with it. I have all of the eyeshadows and things I need to match it. So that's what I plan to do, but I am going to try to make her eyes a little bit more dramatic. I'm going to try to play a little bit more with the drama like in her chest and things like that. If I can't do it, I can't do it, but I might as well give it a shot. This will be a nice challenge for me. I also have to make a headpiece for her. She has like this flower crown that her veil comes out of, and I probably will use the same floral in her headpiece as I will for her bouquet. So then we also have like her arms, which is what I broke this part into. I have to make gloves, and I think I will do the same method of the matte satin with the lace overlay on top of the gloves, and then of course weathering with paint and adding the glitz and glam. For the arm, I purchased We Love Colors like arm glove sleeves things. Like they're the ones that go all the way up here. And I figured since they go all the way up to the armpit, I can just hide the seam with the wig. I know that's like not the cleanest or most like, I don't know, like accurate thing in the world, but I couldn't think of any other way besides buying a shirt and then having to find like a way to hide a seam line on my neck. I would rather hide a seam line than add something to hide a seam line, if that makes sense. Cause like her hair does lay in front. So I just, that's what I thought. But for the arm, the skeleton arm, I'm going to use the foam, once again, the foam clay, the SKS foam clay, as well as I'm going to dye the glove black so that it will be a black base, and then attach the skeleton arm to the glove. I do have some ideas about how I'm going to do that. I just want to wait for that video to share those with you because I feel like it's more fun. The last thing is I'm not going to make her skeleton leg for this like YouTube section of everything. If I decide to wear her in person somewhere, I will reconsider making that leg. I'll do it exactly the way I do the arm. But for the purpose of like time and the YouTube-ness of it all, I am not going to do the leg. I'm just going to use my blue tights that I used for Sally. I need to purchase socks and shoes. And I think I need to buy more blue makeup. You know what? I should probably add rhinestones to this. Rhinestones and like sequins or something that I'm going to sew onto the lace. Again, with the time, I'm not like really we're not going to really track our time. But for just your information, I've spent just under $300 on this. I'm not really like one of those budget cosplayers. I don't try and like do this as inexpensive as possible. I try to do this at a reasonable price. Obviously, some costumes go way over, like Linda, but I really do try my hardest to like keep an eye out on how much I'm spending so that when people ask, like they know. But also a big part of this is being able to share with you all what I bought and where I purchased it from. So yeah, the last thing, oh yeah, I am currently saving up for this backdrop. I want to get an 8-foot by 8-foot backdrop so that I can film some of the like, maybe each video will get its own reveal in front of this. I'll decide before I finish the first garment. So before I finish the bodice, I'll decide that. But I felt like this would be a good little like backdrop to use to film TikToks in front of and Instagram reels. Oh, I also have just some other gowns that inspired me. So I really liked the blues in this and just the sheer amount of volume. And then like this one, it just has a nice detail of the like swirls. I liked that she used some black in here, and I also really like her makeup. So again, like, that. And then this one too, I really liked the detailing of black on the lace. So obviously we're going to have the full on costume. But I try to use the inspiration board as kind of like before I've started, I use it as a like idea board to get myself going. While I'm working on the project, I'll probably add work in progress and then also start to add little like photo shoot inspiration. I wanted to start with this because I really want to purchase this backdrop. So yeah, when I'm all done with the costume, we're going to go to Louisville, Kentucky to see Amanda, Alex, and Kim, and we are going to do some spooky photo shoots. That's where I plan to film the reveal section of this video, which will be really fun. And that'll be basically everything for this costume.
So that's the plan for my Halloween costume this year. Tomorrow, I'm gonna start on the bodice, and I hope to have the first video on making this costume up in about a week or so. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and if you would like to see me make the Corpse Bride, feel free to subscribe to my channel. For those of you interested in the Notion template that I made where I organize all of my costumes, I will have that linked in the description below. And until next time, may all your dreams come true.